Running 101.
Running 101.
Running 101.
Hello, I'm Nads and welcome to another episode of Running 101. I hope everyone's doing well. I'll take this opportunity to say thank you for tuning in and sharing the feedback on the content so far. As always, a quick update from me. So I closed off my year with a final run at the Vitality 10K recently. It was just a week after running Berlin. That 10K was all I needed a week after running the Berlin Marathon. As we touched on and mentioned previously, conditions out there were horrendous. But we started, we finished, and although we always do have a time in our minds, perhaps we should cut ourselves some slack and not be so hard on ourselves. So today's runner has been running on and off for a few years now. They've been sticking to short distances quite consistently. They recently ran their first 5K for charity, after which they topped it up by running their first 10K. Salman, welcome to Running 101.
Oh, no, thank you so much, Nad. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good stuff. Thanks for putting some time aside, man. It means a lot. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, life's good. That's, can't really complain.
What's been keeping you busy lately?
A lot of life admin stuff, but just recently got my kitchen done. So that was the most important life admin stuff.
Priorities, huh?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that kitchen was falling apart, so I had to get that done. I just need my oven. That's all is left.
We'll take that offline, yeah. Okay, a little bit of background for everyone. I actually know Salman on a personal level. Had the pleasure of meeting him first at university, actually. So we go back quite a bit. What was it? We started working together a few years after that too. Quite some time after that, actually. But yeah, ever since then, kind of stuck around, stayed in touch, and the rest is kind of history, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
So how are you keeping? And most importantly, how's the running going?
Yeah, so I've been keeping well. Obviously fitness is still pretty important to me as well. So it's not only running, but it's also going to the gym. So strength training is also pretty important for me as well. I do like my sports, but that's not something I do often anymore. The two things that I do more now than before are going to the gym for strength training, or if not boxing, and then the other one would be running. So yeah, it's been good with my running journey. Definitely something that I've picked up since 2020, but and that's grown as part of my routine ever since.
Apart from the fitness side, Salman, tell us a bit about yourself.
So interesting. It's born and bred in London all my life. I love London as my home, and I went to Queen Mary University. That's where we met as well. So I do have an economics background, but also have a mathematics background. So into my career, I've focused more on my time in analytics across both marketing analytics as well as customer analytics. It's only, I think, was it the past 6 years, I focused a lot of my time in the tech industry.
Good to know that. But we've got no jobs going right now. So thanks for that intro into your CV. But we'll have to get back to you. Joker.
That's my job interview gone wrong.
So, okay, how did it all start for you? Where did the running come from?
So this happened during COVID, and I mean, obviously couldn't go to the gym. And fitness was really important for me. So I was like, okay, what do I do? And my brother mentioned it to me that, you should definitely think about running. I said, yeah, I want to run, but I always hated running, and that was a fact. The only time I kind of got used to running was on the treadmill, and running on a treadmill is a different experience to running outside. And like my brother said to me, here's this app. It's called the Couch to 5K. It's something that was kind of like sponsored by the BBC or like highlighted by the BBC. He goes, give that a shot. That might help. So I started on that program pretty much at the start of COVID, probably like from April or May 2020. I was able to complete that over the 8-week period, or maybe it was a 6-week period. And since then, I've been able to run 5Ks, and I've always kept it to that level of running 5 to say like 10K, or maybe I think my max I've ever done was 11 or 13K. So that's kind of like I said to myself, for my fitness, for my, for me to keep maintaining some level of fitness, is being able to run 5 to 10K whenever I want to go outside. So that's what I've been doing.
On the couch to 5K, how over the period of 8 weeks, how often were you like running during the week?
So based on that program, I have a feeling it was like 3 times a week. I think you kind of had to do it like vigorously. At the start, it was more about ensuring you can run at least 30 seconds to a minute. And so you're kind of like sprinting for 30 to 60 seconds, taking a break, and then you're repeating again. And that's kind of like the first few weeks. I have a feeling why that was really important is that that was a way to build that endurance as well as your stamina. So that's kind of like how it was. But it was quite, you could say, rigorous in the first 3 weeks. And then you start to build on distance for the remaining 5 weeks.
How did you take that on? Like, was it structured in a good way for you? Did it suit you?
I actually think it was a very good structure because you kind of want to build up over time. And that type of structure where you're running for like a minute, having a break, running for a minute and having a break, that was very important in building that endurance. And I felt that was key to not only being able to get used to running, but also starting to like running as well. So like just take it slow, bit by bit. And I think that's something I'll definitely recommend anyone who wants to go into running but doesn't know how to. Definitely check out the Couch to 5K.
Yeah, no, good shout on that. Okay, so you've gone for the couch to 5K up. You've completed you've like gone through the whole plan, the structure that's in place for you. You mentioned 8 weeks, right? What was next?
So when I did my 5K, then I said to myself, okay, I've already done it. Now it's about maintaining it and just enjoying the process. So I definitely did run, 5K. Sometimes I did 3 to 4K. I had like a bit of a sprint outside, or I said to myself, you know what, I want to push it further, go to 6K, then to 7K, then 8K, then now let me try to push for 10K, and then eventually I think the max I've done was 11 or 13K. That's what I've been doing. I would say I'm not an avid runner, but I've always found running as a good exercise that should be part of your routine. It's great for your fitness, but also running outside, especially if you have very nice green areas nearby, like you're running in a park or you just simply live in a green area. It's just great for your mental health as well. Something that should be seriously considered as part of the fitness routine.
What difference has it all brought to you?
Before I was like, no, running's just not for me. I mean, just not at all. But I was able to put, mind over body and was able to define that, no, I can actually do it. Even though it doesn't sound amazing compared to, some of the other avid runners that you hear from, like, I've done my half marathon, now done my marathon, or something. I've already done 3 marathons in the past, I don't know, 5 years or something like that. Although what I've done is like not amazing in terms of that magnitude, but the fact that I'm still able to run 5 to 10K, in a relatively good effort, as in like, I'm not like huffing and puffing and be like, oh my God, like this is terrible. Like I can do it with reasonable fitness.
Yeah.
And knowing that before, I was thinking I could never do it. Already that's progress. So that's definitely expanded my mind on what is possible. Maybe in the future, I'll go way beyond 10Ks. But it's just about putting mind over body.
Salman, what is it that you think plays in our minds that makes us think, okay, you know what, I just can't do that?
I think it's comfort. Sometimes you get too comfortable and, you just say, oh, do I really need to do it? So sometimes you just got to, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's the same with strength training as well. Like, it's not always about running, it's also about strength training. Like, sometimes you may hit on a particular weight. It's like, if I go any heavier, it just gets heavier, then it gets painful. But that's part of the process to get stronger. You want to get stronger, but you have to go through the process. And when it comes to running, if you want to run your fastest 5K or you want to be able to hit your half marathon or marathon, you got to, enjoy the process as well and be comfortable with the uncomfortable situations. Whereas if you love comfort, then going through those arduous processes just becomes like too difficult. Nothing beats sitting on an armchair, but But at the same time, being on an armchair for too long is like detrimental to your future self. And so you have to be kind to your future self by doing what's right, by staying fit, keeping healthy, and always keep pushing yourself, because otherwise you don't realize your potential and you're kind of affecting your future self.
So you need to put yourself in the deep end from time to time. Just go for it. And without doing that, you won't know what your what your limitations are, what your maximum output is.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
What experiences have you come across? What have you achieved?
Yeah, so I think I would definitely maintain this level of fitness, because hitting a milestone is one thing, but maintaining that milestone is also another challenge. So you could say maintaining that fitness for the past several years has been a very good experience in itself. But also being able to firstly run my very first event, I think that's definitely something that I'll take away from and say it's something I'm very happy with my achievement, albeit 5K.
Yeah, let's start with that 5K actually. Tell us about that. What was the build up towards that like?
Yeah, sure thing. So the charity was cancer research, and in my office we usually run for a charity every year between June to August, sometime in the summer. And they were saying like, hey, you know what, do you want to sign up? I was like, I've never done it, and I was like, what's the worst it can be? So screw it, let me do it. And I got some of my colleagues to also sign up for it as well. And I was like, okay, let's see how it all goes. I kind of did it as normal, like I did my training, week in, week out. It's like, can I just hit my 5K? Doesn't matter how long it's going to be, just do 5K. Just make sure you can at least get to the finishing line.
Yeah, I mean the good thing is like usually when these things come up, sometimes or majority people haven't run before, right? It's one of those things that you just do as in, yeah, it's for charity. Let me just do it because people from work are doing it. I guess you had a good solid foundation behind you, having previously done the couch to 5K, running regularly from time to time, having stretched out, like you mentioned, all the way to like 10, 13K on your own, right? So I guess that was good. All you had to do was sign up and go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why. I just had that, you could say that hesitation to sign up. Was like, I'm just happy in my own world, running around the corner. But I was like, no, just let's see what happens. At least experience, the moment and the event. So when it came to training, I just had like a normal routine training, just making sure I was hydrated, making sure that I was warm enough for the race. And on race day, I mean, I got there pretty late, but yeah, just got there on time for the race. And yeah, and I think what was great is that as you're running, you got that camaraderie with everyone else running with you. And so it's like, oh, this is actually a great feeling, as opposed to just running on my own. Everyone else is running.
How many were there from your workspace again?
So I think there was around 10 of my colleagues, like between my team and the sales team. But at the same time, I think there was around, like probably thousands of people running there. So like, you got your team, but then you also got everyone else running. So you could say it's like a lot more of a fulfilling experience.
Sure. Well, one thing that we usually touch on is, like you mentioned, in your building up to the training and your hydration and everything like that. Obviously, your previous strength training came into play here and it worked quite well. Over the last few episodes and whoever we've spoken to offline, we've always discussed like the level of hydration and fueling that you need to have, mostly for like longer runs, like maybe half marathon and onwards, I guess. But in your space too, I would say, and maybe you can agree on this, correct me if I'm wrong, but you do need the supplements and everything, even for something like training and going for a 5K too, right?
So yeah, no, hydration and diet is extremely important. I mean, if you eat crap, it makes your training even harder. I mean, I know it sounds funny, but it is really true. Like, one of my personal trainers said to me, like, if you eat shit, you look shit. I was like, okay, I think can't get any clearer than that. But no, hydration and diet. I know, but it's I hope it's more than PG. Yeah, but hydration and diet is definitely important. I mean, if you're always eating junk food or you're always eating, well, carbs is actually quite important for like that energy. But if you're always eating like processed junk food, like it really does hamper your health, but it also hampers your performance as well. So making sure that you're having a good diet and also ensuring you have enough electrolytes. Electrolytes can come from from all sorts of food like meat, fruit, veg, etc. Just making sure that you're having a good level, a good diet as well as a good level of hydration. Yeah, that's extremely key.
And you think those things really helped on the day and came through for you?
Yeah, no, 100%. If I wasn't like hydrating or eating well, I think I just probably would have hit saturation a lot quicker.
Mm.
But the fact that I was hydrating really well, it didn't feel like an arduous run for me. It felt like it's actually not so bad. You could say like I was kind of like doing a little bit effortless.
Well, we all know that was a bit of the start, right? And then obviously a few weeks later, let's hear about the 10K from you now.
Yeah, so the 10K came around because I mean you kept on nagging me for like 5 years, so I thought, okay, fine, all right, I'll do it then. Naz keeps on nagging me. Let me just do it so he doesn't nag me anymore. So I signed up for the 10K Essex run. It was kind of funny because when I signed up and I told you I signed up for you, because actually, sorry, I'm actually not running. I was like, what a prank. But thank God you were actually still running. Um, so signed up and I was like, okay,
If I was to be totally honest, I didn't think you'd go ahead with that, just like before.
yeah, true. I don't know. I think probably because of me running that 5K
Mm.
for charity, I was like, okay, I don't have that hesitation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to say one thing right now, I'd say the reason I was constantly on your case was because I knew that you were still running, right?
Yeah.
Suppose you had gone for it and stopped, then I'd be like, okay, you know what, forget this. But the fact that you were still keeping it fairly consistent from time to time, I was like, well, the interest is definitely there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just about giving the guy the opportunity and saying, hey, look, come on, let's go ahead and do this, right? So,
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know. There was something about me that I just kept on running on my own, but I never
mm,
ran with people or never ran like in an event. And then I think all you have to do is just go
go
for it.
for it.
Just see the experience. If you like it, keep doing it. And if you don't like it, okay, just don't do it. But I actually did enjoy my 5K run. And when he said to me, look, what about the Essex run? Well, you know what? 5K run was actually so bad. Let's do it again. I just kept the same routine. I didn't really change that much. I was still running 5Ks. I did run a couple of runs above 5K, and just making sure I still had a good diet, but not to forget my strength training. I still didn't. I wasn't neglecting my strength training as well.
What
During that.
areas do you focus on in your strength training?
So I do full body. My strength training routine is I focus on one muscle group in the gym in one session. So if I'm going to do, say, bench press or that, chest, I'm doing all exercises that's related to the chest and the tricep, and I'm not going to focus on anything else. So back or leg has to be on another day. So I kind of like work out one muscle group and work it out until I'm extremely tired. That's kind of how I do my strength training routine. But there are like different types of training routines you can go into. So like there's like the 5x5, which is actually quite popular. But I think there's also like I think one or two different variations of the 5x5 strength training as well. But that's a very popular routine as well.
What does that entail, if you want to share that?
So 5x5, the one I followed before is where you're lifting weights on the I think there's five main exercises as well. So that's your bench press, your shoulder press, your barbell row, your squats, and then your deadlifts. So there's five main exercises to do, and it consists of for one particular exercise. So say squat, you run, you do five sets of 5 reps. So you do your 5 reps of a particular weight, and then you rest, and then you do that again.
You got your hydration, your fueling, your strength training in check. Yeah, let's go for the 10K.
Well, before to the 10K, you also helped guide me for our shared run between us, and no doubt I thought that was really good because you also emphasized a lot about keeping warm for the run, or like making sure you stretch it really well. That's something I didn't really do that much. I do like a 2 minute stretch and I'm off running, where I think you're like, no, emphasize the stretch. So then you're always staying warm throughout, as opposed to, getting a bit cold and then getting warm later on. So like you're warm from the get-go. So that's something that I actually took away from that.
Yeah, in regards to that stretch with that's just my usual routine. That's whether I'm going for a run or whether I'm at the gym before I do any strength training, that's my warm-up stretch, regardless of what activity I'm about to do. So it was good to share that with you. And reflecting on it, yeah, it was a good casual warm-up run prior to the 10K.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And that was actually really good, a good precursor to the actual run itself. So as we got to the 10K ASIC run down Wembley Stadium, dropped our bag, got ready, warmed up. Once you do like your first event, you kind of like say, okay, I know what to do now. I get what it is. Like everyone is there. I think there was 6,000 people there as well. So that was actually what made it pretty amazing. So on the race itself, I think what I was trying to focus on is just was just pacing myself, one step at a time. And then you're also pacing me, so like you're just saying, just get that in, but don't lose momentum. And I think that was actually really important to not lose momentum throughout the race, because once you like go too fast or you go too slow, you're kind of like not running at the optimal way. So just making sure that you have that right momentum, it's really key for that 10K race.
I think the pacing part was the best. It was my first time pacing anyone. And yeah, no, it was good. I was able to kind of like, the pressure wasn't on me. It was more about making sure that you were staying consistent throughout the whole thing with your pace. It wasn't, you weren't finding like I was kind of asking you to kind of push yourself a lot more. We just wanted to keep it comfortable, and our target was fairly realistic as well. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good experience for me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think when I was doing a 10K run, I mean, when we jetted off from the starting line, I was saying that just do one step at a time and like have that momentum in place. And obviously at the start, you start to identify, can you go one line ahead? It's like, yeah, I can pass this person, then pass that person. But you're just doing it slowly, just to make sure that you're not slowing everyone down as well. But then like if there's a space, you can just go ahead, and just keeping that steady pace, and enjoying like the process. I guess I actually felt that particular run was kind of flat most of the time. There were a few really steep hills.
There was one major incline, right? And I think that kind of took everyone by surprise quite suddenly when it came on.
Yeah, that was, oh my God. I think that was the one right next to, the station. If you didn't handle that well, so like say you paced it, or, if you're getting so tired and you didn't think, like, what, I think it's a better idea if I just walked it, you probably could pulled your muscle, or that had like a lactic acid, overdrive coming in. I don't know. It was just something about that was really steep. And I was like, I think I said to myself, let me just walk it up just a little bit, because if I pull my muscle, that's it, I screwed it. And there's no shame in it. It's like, it was just, I don't know, just another 10 seconds. Okay, done. I can now run back as I was doing. And, that was totally fine. I actually thought, I think like when I was putting into like 6, I think maybe was it on the 7th to 8th K, that's when I actually got my wind back, and I was like, I got like a second round of energy. Now I can like start running again. Just keep that momentum, and then you probably get your energy back. You're drinking the water along the way as well, and then you start to find that 10K is actually not so bad.
I would just go back to one thing, that you set off right, you kept it consistent, you didn't try to push yourself way beyond what you knew your capability was or what your capacity was at the time. And I think that's where you thrived, and you were able to kind of push yourself along to stay within your means. And yeah, you got to the finish quite well. You weren't like totally out of it either at the end.
No, that was actually quite interesting. You mentioned someone got this flag to say like this way to the finish. Yeah, I was like, oh, so this is the finish line. So I actually went to pace because I wanted to complete the race. I was like, I got there. It's like, why is everyone still running? It's like, oh crap, it's still not the finish line. So I think that was definitely one learning for me. It's like, don't be fooled by just some silly flag out there. Maybe just focus on the run.
How's running been since?
Running's been good. I gotta say, I don't think I've mentioned this so far. When you were helping me to get my new gear, especially on new trainers, I actually enjoy running a lot more. For everyone's benefit, I've been running some of my old trainers for a long time, and when Nad saw it, he saw how dead the sole were, and it was like, no wonder you're having a bit of foot pain. It's because your shoes are absolutely gobsmacked bad. Maybe you should throw those away. I think there was a time where it's like, you know what, it's starting to hurt a little bit with my feet. Let me just walk a little bit. So every time I was doing a 5K, I think I paused 3 times. This was happening around April, May time. Now I run and I'm not pausing once. And so if there's anything I'll take away from that, is invest in good, running gear. Because if you don't have good running gear, that's going to affect your performance, and it might actually affect your, what's the word now? It might actually affect your mood for running.
Yeah, and in the long run, you're just asking for injuries to come your way, right? I mean, let's just go back 2 years ago. Yeah, so what happened? I had shoes which were generally the same size as my normal day shoes. So I didn't know that you go a half size up, or I just didn't listen to that advice much until I had to suffer the consequences. 2024 summer, I got struck with plantar fasciitis on both my feet, actually, not just the one. So that was kind of like had to go back to my foundation and start learning. Took some time off running to begin with, and I was just the strength training and the stretching, that's where it all came from. That's where it all started, really. I wasn't doing much of that before either. And that's one thing that I can advise, which is why I shared that with you. But yeah, no. Well, when you say running gear, I would focus on the right shoes. You definitely need those, and you need to make sure that your feet are comfortable because, yeah, for the long run, you need to look after your feet. Otherwise, you might as well say goodbye today.
Oh, 100%. I mean, use your feet to run. So they better be in a very comfortable position. Otherwise, it makes running just so much harder. Investing in some good running gear definitely makes a huge difference. So if anyone's thinking about, okay, how do I improve my running, or if I want to take running, what do I really need? Yeah, get good trainers. I definitely would recommend that. That's for a start.
So, Mark, that takes me into the next bit. So, obviously, like you could say we both started around the same time. You started around COVID time, and so did I. Based on what you've learned, what would you advise someone today, like who is starting? Where should they start? What would you do differently?
Okay, so there's probably 3 things, or maybe potentially 4, but like the 4th is kind of like everything else outside of running. So, firstly, that couch to 5K was actually really important. That's a way to really get you into running and kind of also liking running. I actually when I used the app, I used the voiceover from Michael Johnson. Like, it just makes you feel good about running. It's like, you're doing great. I was like, you know what? I actually feel like I'm doing great. So you just feel good about running, and I think that's something that was really important. Like, is a way to enjoy the process of getting into running. So if your first steps into running, if that's enjoyable, you start to enjoy running, and that's one definite recommendation there. The second we've already highlighted was around running gear. So like really good trainers. That's like the most important thing, and then everything else, like the accessories, like good, like maybe good running vest if you need, or belts, and then also like a good clothing as well as socks as well, to make sure that's reinforced with your feet. Those sort of things are really important. Like, they're kind of seen like underrated, or maybe like undervalued, but they go an extra mile to really help with your running.
Just on that point, on gear, I would say, and I've learned this the hard way, don't use something new on race day.
Oh, 100%. Definitely break it in.
Yeah, trust me, I've learned the hard way. Now you can go on.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, you learned the hard way, so no one else needs to. That's such a good way to put it.
Nice, I like that.
The other thing I would say, the third one I was going to say, learn around your area what what good routes are. So in my area, I got like a flat route, and it's usually the park that I run in. So if I just want to have kind of like an easy 5K or like go beyond 10K, I'll just do it in the park. I just do like multiple laps. It's fine. Yeah, I enjoy the park. But there may be some routes around your area that that have a lot of hills to it. There's a lot of incline and decline. Now you may say, do I want to run there? I would only do that for, you could say for your HIIT training, so like your high intensity interval training. That's actually really key to improve your endurance and your fitness, but it's also really good for your strength as well. It's actually one of those, it's actually one of those HIIT training. I'm actually not a huge, it's probably a controversial statement. I'm not a huge fan of like CrossFit, the sorts of things, or some of the interesting HIIT trainings. But I think HIIT training, the best one that you could do is running uphill, and trying to pace it as well. So if you've got some incline routes around you, definitely use that for your training. It's fantastic.
All of these running events, if you do want to go down that avenue and explore them, don't hardly any of them are always like on the same flat surface. There are inclines and declines, especially around London anyway. So yeah, you need to be ready for that in all different forms and stuff. And the more you can train, I think that's quite ideal to build that extra, what would you call it, support in yourself.
It's really good for your fitness as well. And the last one, which was like the fourth point, that's everything outside of running. Ensuring you're eating well, you're maintaining low stress, making sure you're having your strength training or any other training outside of running. Just making sure you're also having a healthy routine outside of running as well.
Good points. And again, Salman, these are the things that I feel we just forget sometimes. And it's really good to revisit and just understand them again. I know when you start talking about it, someone might think, okay, well, I already know this, but trust me, that as much as we say that, we probably just skip and just turn a blind eye to it. So it's always good to reflect on that, I think.
Definitely so.
So what have you got further down the line? Any goals set for yourself?
I might be nesting for a little bit, might just enjoy the kitchen for the next couple of months. But I think from the new year onward, I'm definitely going to keep running, keep my fitness in. Sure. But I think maybe, what, I might actually get back into some of those events, keeping it slow for now, like with the 5Ks and the 10Ks, and maybe, maybe start thinking a little bit more than the 10Ks into next year. It's something I might try to consider going forward.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, further down the line, I would definitely consider putting something in. Just gives you a target to work towards. It's a milestone that you can achieve at the same time too. It definitely helps in terms of putting a plan in place. That's something that you can make part of your regular routine as and when. Yeah, it does get challenging at times, but again, like I said, the most important thing is it gives you something to work towards. But having said that, it's okay to not have anything planned in at the same time too. Like you mentioned, you're going to keep things consistent, stick to your distances. Sounds like you've got stuff in play in terms of looking for the right sort of routes around you and stuff on a regular basis. So yeah, no, sounds good, man. It's really good.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also go back to my earlier point, be comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? So Nads, I got a question for you. You paced me for the 10K Essex run, and that was probably your first one as well. Would you pace again in future?
Yes, absolutely I would. It's given me an insight into what pacing's all about, and I can see where pacers enjoy what they're doing. I know sometimes the pressure's on in terms of driving that person or people who are following behind you, cheering a run all the way to the end. But obviously you pick a pace that is in your comfort zone, if you see what I mean, right? I was totally comfortable. The only thing on my mind was to make sure that you were comfortable and make it as straightforward for you as possible, not to push you too much, not to put any pressure on. Just wanted to keep it comfortable. And to be honest, if you can put someone at ease and just take the pressure off them and just say, hey, I'll get you through this. That's all that matters. And it was nice. It was really comfortable for me. Like I said, it showed me another path of running really. And gave me a chance to kind of understand what one of our one of our pacers, regular pacers actually, Shaq, who was on one of our episodes earlier, how he must feel on a regular basis. So shout out to you, Shaq. Yeah, definitely got a good feel into how it must be pacing on a regular basis. He's paced 10Ks, half marathons, and he loves it.
Yeah, obviously I was your first one to do it, so that's kind of a big honor right there.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I would say that I actually enjoyed it. I think that actually made the occasion a lot easier for me as well. I mean, it's my first 10K in an event, so it's always good to have someone like yourself to say, "Look, you got this. You got this. Is all good. Like, how you doing? You okay? Like, or do you need to rest for a bit?" Like, I'm like, no, I need to make sure that I can do it without pausing. And he said, no, you got to do it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's always good to have like basically having that running buddy. And I think if anyone else was thinking like, should I get someone to pace me? I'm like, yeah, definitely do it. It's a really good experience, especially if you're first or second running event. And then maybe over time, when you become more, more of an avid runner, then maybe you can do it on your own. But for beginners, I think it's a fantastic experience altogether.
Yeah, no, it was for me. I am glad that it was good experience for you too. So yeah, you never know. I might be able to pace you again at some point when you're back out there.
Yeah, let's definitely put that in. Maybe sometime next year we'll get something in.
Sounds good. Well, Salman, it's been a pleasure, man. Obviously, like we initially mentioned, we go back quite a bit. So yeah, pestering you all these years, finally getting you to the start line at the 10K, pacing you through it, and finally having a chit chat about it today. Yeah, it means a lot, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's been great to talk about all things running. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll touch base on another episode of Running 101 very soon. Look after yourself. Take care.